We continue to follow developments in the Middle East in another test of a fragile ceasefire agreement with Iran. Both sides traded strikes over the weekend, with Iran threatening to stop negotiations with the U.S. But despite that threat, President Trump says a meeting with Iran is on the books for tomorrow in Doha. Let's bring in Iranian activist and CBS News contributor Masih Alinejad. Masih, thank you so much for your time today. So how do the people of Iran feel about this fragile ceasefire and the back and forth during negotiations?
Absolutely abundant. Iranian people are not part of this negotiation at all. We're talking about the memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and the Islamic Republic. And it's beyond sad that this is the president of the United States of America, President Trump, who actually promised the people of Iran that help it's on its way. Mm-hmm. So now they've been saying many times they want to make Iran great again, but it seems that they're trying to make the Ayatollahs great again. And I'm going to tell you why. MOU is about actually not just legitimizing the Islamic Republic, but also financing the greatest sponsor of terrorism. This is not me saying that. It was President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, saying that the Islamic Republic is the greatest sponsor of terrorism in the region. Mm-hmm. On the day first of MOU, sanctions are lifted, and the money goes where? To IRGC, to their machinery weapons, to Hamas, Houthi, Hezbollah. I'm coming from a working class. It doesn't go to the working class. It doesn't go to workers, teachers, nurses who took to the street to protest against the Islamic Republic. And the U.S. is about to hand more than 100 billion from frozen assets, which is the money of the people of Iran, to the Islamic Republic. And I actually heard from Vice President J.D. Vance having a solution, saying that, we make the Islamic Republic to buy soy and corn from American farmers. That's how we make American farmers richer, and we feed the people of Iran. This is a clumsy pitch from Vice President J.D. Vance to buy the votes from Americans. And my people do not want to be fed by Americans. They have dignity, and they want to see the help that they have been promised.
And Masih, you mentioned this earlier. We know the U.S. has not confirmed that any frozen assets have been or will be released, but this is one of the conditions in the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding. I want to get your take here, because if this does in fact happen, is this a sign that the MOU and the ceasefire will hold? And when it comes to the ceasefire in general, what are your hopes? What would you like to see when it comes to this war, and even what the future will look like for the people of Iran?
My people do not want war. They never asked for war. My people do not want nuclear weapon as well. So basically, all Iranians want to have a deal that is stop Iran to end having nuclear weapons. All we see in this memorandum of understanding is empty promises. We have seen this movie before. This MOU is exactly the same script of JCPOA of President Obama with bigger number. This is the same as NTP, empty promises, meaningless commitment. This is the regime that lies. They know how to buy time to actually use diplomacy to rebuild Revolutionary Guards and their proxies. So for me and millions of Iranians, we are actually confused. We are literally nervous that what the American government going to do. And let me make it very clear. We never asked American to bring regime change for us. It was President Trump who mentioned about regime change, who asked the people of Iran to take to the streets. You all remember that. And now they say that we're all about American and national. We want to help Americans. We don't care about regime change. This is what President Trump said. Really? You said the same word, and now you say that you don't care about regime change? And basically, some Americans ask me that, oh my God, you really had hope on President Trump? I didn't have hope on President Trump. I had hope on America. The same way when President Obama was in power, millions of Iranians had hope on him as well. When Iranians are trapped in a burning house, in dictatorship, what do you really expect them? To have hope on Russia? On China? This is democracy. And in the memorandum, let me just talk about Article 14. the MOU requires the United States of America not to interfere in Iran's internal affairs. That's ridiculous. It means no support for pro-democracy movement, no support for those who have not any voice, like voiceless women who receive lashes in Iran. America was all about democracy. America was all about protecting the same values, not empowering the terrorist regime. No mention in this MOU, no mention about Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, and their act of terrorism on US soil. I myself survived 3 assassination plots. I have no fear of the Ayatollahs in Iran. I have no fear of this administration as well. I was loud against President Obama to criticize him when he abandoned, and I was loud enough against President Biden, hand out billions of dollars to Iranian regime. That's how when they see cash and billions of dollars, they actually promote their missiles, their machinery weapons. They send more killers on U.S. soil. America should have a leadership to be united and bury their political agenda, either Republican or Democrat, to be united to end terrorism.
Of course. And there is so much, I know, to look ahead to see what comes next in this. And I know that's very important to you, Masih. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it for giving me a voice, for echoing the voice of Iranian people right now here.
Thank you. Thank you.